People living in colder regions enjoy summers, but most parts of the world, animals don't feel the same as they're mostly affected by the harshness of climate change. Although we humans can simply turn on the air conditioning in our homes and cars, animals don't enjoy such comfort. It's not like these animals could get sunglasses or ice packs in the jungle. They often need the intervention of people during these trying times. Welcome to another episode of Forever Green. Today we'll be looking at heart-melting times humans have helped animals in the scorching heat and showed how much we care for our co-inhabitants. Make sure you stay tuned to the end. You won't believe the extent this man went to look out for this helpless animal. Man helps stranded bird. This bird was lying on the road when a kind man read the situation and decided to help. He could see the bird was gasping for water and offered it some water on a bottle cap. Of course, the bird wasn't just going to accept the water from the stranger, so the man had to pour some of it in its mouth so it could understand that he meant well. Then, with just a few gulps, the bird was obviously feeling better and could even get to its feet again. If only humans could be more like this guy. Thirsty armadillo gets help. Here in the midst of hot scorchiness, we see a man helping an armadillo to a drink. After the man must have observed that the armadillo would like to have a drink, he carefully holds it down and pours it a drink with the other. Of course, the poor chap wouldn't mind a little bath as well. From how the little guy anticipated every pour, you could tell he badly needed it. Poor little thing. Pigeon flocks gather for a cold, hot afternoon bath. On an afternoon hotter than most in recent times, this flock of pigeons gather for a quick cold bath. It was reported that the temperatures were at an unprecedented high that afternoon, so this nice man decided to make it rain to cool off the pigeons. Those pigeons just couldn't thank the man enough for being such a lifesaver. So on behalf of every pigeon out there, we say a big thank you for extending love to these poor critters. Dehydrated bird gets a drink. We must understand that animals suffer from the heat as much as humans, and in some cases they're either too dehydrated to get to drinking holes or don't even have one to start with. So when this helpless bird clung to this window, it was good to see a man go out of his way to pour some water into the mouth of the seemingly hopeless bird. I bet the bird will be forever grateful. Police officer offers monkey a drink. Giving you a ticket may not be the only thing that a police officer could pull you over for. Sometimes on very good days, it might be because he wants to offer you a drink. Take a look at this guy. He got offered a bottle of water by a police officer. He greatly held onto the bottle as he savored the cold, satisfying nature of it. I really envy that guy. The nicest thing a police officer gave me was penalty points. Forest officer offers leopard cub a drink. Amid the scorching heat where animals are trying to live through severe weather, this heartwarming video was taken of a man who didn't allow the reputation of the critter to stop him from helping its child. You see, while going around the forest digging water holes for animals, this forest worker and his colleagues heard some leopard cubs calling for their mummy. So they decided to stop by and share some of the water that they were carrying with the young chaps. What if the mother leopard walked in on them? That's the length they were willing to go to help out the cute cubs. Good thing that didn't happen though. Thirsty eagle stops for a drink. Even with their keen eyesight, eagles sometimes find it hard to locate water. So what do they do when they don't find water? They simply stop by the roadside and ask anyone with water for some. This bird of prey may be the king of the skies, but it didn't mind literally stooping low for a drink. Kudos to the guys for looking out for the bird. Tourist offers squirrel a drink. When I said the heat waves hits everyone in the animal kingdom, I meant it. Again, it's natural instinct. This squirrel asked if it could share a tourist drink. Of course, our guy is super friendly, so he allows the squirrel to drink straight from the bottle. Look at its cute little paws. It clearly didn't want to go off the bottle. I'm pretty sure the squirrel would like to be the tourist guide for the rest of his visit after such a satisfying drink. Crow blatantly asked for a drink. While humans are quick to feed animals, it turns out they don't always look forward to being fed chips and nuts. They could have walked up to you for a cold, refreshing drink in the heat of summer. Here we see a crow trying the hardest to let people around know how badly it needs a drink to wash down the french fries it probably had stuck in its throat. But they seemed too carried away by the fact that a crow was hanging out with them and ignoring all its glaring gestures. It wasn't until a boy finally got the message and opened up the bottle that the crow could have a drink to quench its thirst and avoid being choked to death. I'm sure we've all been in the same situation as this bird, where you have something stuck in your throat but can't seem to find water around. The relief that comes after finally getting that drink is heavenly, right? Genius magpie drinks from bottle. We've seen animals get hand-fed by humans, but it's time to watch an animal show us they don't always need humans to get water on a summer afternoon. All you have to do is leave the bottle unopened and it can help itself. The magpie shows its way ahead of its kind by performing a trick only a physics student could have pulled off, unless maybe it's been attending some science classes. Back to the clip. This smart beak decided to drop some stones in the bottle to raise the water level. How on earth did it come up with that? Strange, but laudable. Man rescues dog. In some parts, climate change brings about more than heat waves. It could be a massive flood, and who suffers more when floods come? Animals. However, this hero worker wasn't going to let this dog get washed up into a canal, so he decided to pull it out with his excavator stick. Talk about risking it all to save a life. Such kindness is highly commendable. Way to go, buddy. Vulture gets a lift. You know how exhausting it is to run on a hot afternoon? That's probably how birds feel when they fly at high altitudes. So when this vulture saw that a man was going its way, it decided to hitch a ride on his hang glider and save himself from needless stress. Why fly in the scorching heat when you could hitch a ride instead, right? The vulture clearly didn't put its thumb up, but I'm sure the good man didn't mind. Man rescues drowning cat. Not all heroes, they say, wear capes, although this man didn't have an excavator to save the cat like the other guy. He was ready to risk it all to save a poor kitty from a flooded creek in California, even when his wife told him he wouldn't be able to save it.
I don't think you're gonna catch it, honey.
He forged through with his plan to save a life that was just a consequence of our undoing. The little kitten could have easily drowned in such a large flood, but I guess cats are really as tough as people say. I'm not so sure his dog would be keen on having a baby brother, though. Man helps magpies in his backyard. Sometimes when animals get together to enjoy the summer sun, they might get a little carried away and find themselves in some precarious situations. These magpies were chilling in this guy's backyard when some of them somehow got their heads stuck between the fence. Luckily for them, the house owner was at hand to literally save their necks. I didn't expect them to be trying that again anytime soon. I just suspect this might have been some kind of TikTok challenge for the birds. Who knows? Anything for sure these days, right? Kitten gets rescued. You'd agree that cats just know how to get themselves into unbelievable situations. It might be because they take this 9 lives thing too seriously. Here we see a cat rescued by a man who didn't mind his clothes getting wet. Way to go, Michael Phelps. I wonder how the cat got in the pond initially. Before we move on to our next awe-inspiring clip, we have a quick challenge that'll just take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. Leave us a like, smash that subscribe button, and turn on notifications, and maybe you'll win 10 years of incredible luck. Try it. It actually works. Don't quote me on that, though. Koala continuously drinks from bucket. This koala had to get down from the treetop to accept a peace offering made by some humans during a scorching heat wave. You know how koalas like being left alone, acting all cute and cuddly by themselves? Well, they sometimes break character, as this koala made its way to a bucket of water and drank for close to 20 minutes. I guess all that fur makes the heat unbearable. If only they came with a zipper. Joey gets saved from wildfire. Another unfortunate occurrence associated with summer and climate change is the insane number of brush fires in the forest. Here we see a hero save a joey from the inferno surrounding it. The joey was taken to a rescue van and given some water to drink and a warm blanket. Don't worry, lad, they'll find Mummy soon. Koala sneaks into car to cool off. While a man left his car unlocked for whatever reason, a koala snuck into his car while the air conditioning was on and refused to leave. On returning to his car, the man met an uninvited guest cooling off from the heat. After getting his dog out in order to not scare the koala, he pleaded with it, but it all fell on deaf ears. I don't really blame the koala because no one would want to step back into that heat. The man even tried to bribe it, but the koala wasn't keen on leaving the car anytime soon. Finally, after exploring the front seat and literally leaving its mark on the car, the koala accepts the exit.
Oh, thank goodness.
It must be heading back into the wild, thinking of how it could get one of those cooling vehicles. Zoo helps keep animals cool. It's not just the animals in the wild that receive help from humans during scorching heat. Animals in the zoo are in on the warm gestures as well. This zoo repeatedly gives amazing treats to the animals in the sanctuary to help ease the summer heat. Treats like popsicles and fish sickles were shared with the animals. The zoo also provided cool ponds, fresh water, and air-conditioned bedrooms, giving that top-notch cool accommodation. Believe it or not, Gatorade was also served to the apes and chimps to replenish their enzymes. They are really thoughtful people. Koala gets rescued from a brush fire. Another animal saved from an Aussie brush fire was a koala. The rescuers pulled the little guy out of the fire and set him by the road for a quick drink. He really didn't want the water to finish. Did you also notice the lad had another empty bottle in his hand? The koala must have been through hell. Possum gets a drink. Look at how this little guy is graciously drinking from the bottle. The possum was picked up from the scorching heat of a brush fire and given a cold drink. The guy was so shaken up by the experience that he didn't mind being held in both hands while drinking from the bottle. I bet he could go on like this for hours. Otter gets cooling aids. Being an animal that requires great care and attention, the zookeepers at this sanctuary provided these otters with ice cubes, ice packs, ice treats, and a special room with air conditioning to help them cool off, even though the critters have their regular pools for quick dips. So it's safe to say these guys are spoiled for choice in this scorching sun. Thirsty king cobra gets help. Certain animals have earned some undeserved bad reputation, which has made victims of some cruelty that they actually don't deserve. Luckily, a few of us see things differently. Here we see a man rescuing a king cobra that got stuck in a fish net. The king cobra must have spent so long in that fish net that it didn't even try attacking the man. The snake complied all the way. It even opened its mouth when the man was about to give it some water. I never knew cobras loved drinking water this much. After quenching its thirst, the man went to the main agenda of the day by getting rid of the pesky fish net that had the cobra trapped for, goodness, I don't know how long. Lizard drinks from water bottle. This random act of kindness was recorded by someone who saw a lizard in the sun and offered it some water. It's surprising to see a lizard accept such a gesture because these guys run at the slightest side of humans. But I guess it was so thirsty that it didn't mind where the water came from or who offered it. It looked so filled and cute all at the same time.
I need to get the ticks off him. Look, he's got ticks stuck.
Thirsty koala joins runners for a drink. Just like the eagle we saw earlier in the video, this koala stopped to join a couple of joggers for some water. The husband, who was a few steps away, stopped to record the incident when he saw that his wife was interacting with a creature by the roadside. When he got there, he saw his wife sharing some water with a koala in the heat of the afternoon. Although the couple wanted to savor the moment for as long as they could, the koala was keen to return to its everyday business after it must have said thank you the best way it could. Forest ranger gives bulls water. I bet these bulls couldn't believe their eyes when this forest ranger dressed in yellow came with a yellow hose to give them water on a hot summer afternoon. The bulls just drank all they could before heading back into the forest. Little lizard drinks from bottle. This little guy was given some water by a really sweet person. You can see it drinking with its little forked tongue. Kudos to whoever offered the lizard water for staying still for as long as this got a drink. Roo gets a glass of water. Next, we see a kangaroo drinking from a glass cup offered by a forest ranger. Watching this guy drink from the glass makes me crave a cold glass myself. The kangaroo was rescued from another tragic brush fire. Man converts car to koala rescue pod. In the height of yet another brush fire, this hero converts his car into a koala rescue pod. After seeing the koalas had fled the fire to safety, he ushered them into his vehicle, which is cooler and safer thanks to the air conditioning. We all remember how koalas get with their air conditioning, right? What's with koalas and asking humans for help during hot weather anyway? Before we move on to our number one pick, we have something for you. We've seen a lot of people lend a helping hand to animals during the summer. Beyond the warmth and joy you get from watching this video, let's take the lessons that come with it and learn to love each other and the animals we come across. Let us know your favorite moment of kindness down below. You could also share some of your experiences with the community. We'd love to hear from you. And oh, don't forget to leave a like if these clips melted your heart. And you can also subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. Man provides water to thirsty wild animals in Kenya. Our number one pick was a man who took it upon himself to cater to the wild animals in the dry lands of Kenya's Tsavo West National Park. Most of the clips we've seen so far in the video are kind of one-off, but this man would daily take water to the animals, and he didn't even work as a forest ranger. His name is Patrick Kalonzo Mwalu, a pea farmer in a local village not too far from the national park who's now being referred to as the Waterman by those who've seen his kindness. I bet the animals call him that too. Mwalu would drive a truck for hours daily to fill the watering holes of all the animals with some life-saving water, which is about 30,000 gallons. After a while, the animals became familiar and fond of him. He narrated that he once met about 500 buffaloes waiting at the watering hole for him to arrive. And when he opened the water, the buffaloes smelt it just as though they were savoring it before eventually drinking. Then the buffaloes didn't wait for him to leave before drinking, and the man said he could sense how happy they were. When asked why he's making such a commitment, he simply felt that since they weren't getting enough rain at that time, due to the effects of global warming, the animals wouldn't get enough water and would die. His good deeds didn't go unnoticed as people have contributed to his cause, ensuring the animals continue to get the care they need for in such a difficult time. Well, that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.